Greetings, Stars fans! This is the Two Brothers Mic'd Up show, coming to you after each and every Dallas Stars game, here to give you our take and discussion on the game. This is game number 25 against the Calgary Flames. We got the first place team going up against the last place team. Let's go back into the past video as we always do with our predictions. So always be sure to stick around to the end. Quinn, why don't you explain how you predicted this game to come out?
Well, I made the bold prediction of saying that Dallas was going to win hands down. Made that prediction because you come in with Calgary being the last place team. You don't expect them to really pose that much of a threat to the first place team, but I should have started looking back to our record and seeing that all the teams we've lost to have basically been in the bottom tier. So
except for Ottawa.
Oh, except for Ottawa. So I probably should have put 2 and 2 together and not count them out.
So what you're saying is you jinxed us.
No.
All right, and then I made the predictions of if Dallas was to come on top. I like the score of 3-1. You know what? For a brief glimpse, I think for a minute and like 30 seconds, my prediction looked good. And then I said if Calgary was going to come on top, I pretty much based my score on if Jack Campbell was going to be in the net, and I gave it a score of 4-2. Almost the score. Almost the score. But it's a complete copycat of what happened in Minnesota, an exact game before this one. A team goes down 3-0, trailing into the third period, make a huge rally, take it to extra periods, and come out on top. Now, last time that was the Dallas Stars. This time, the quiet little giant that is the Calgary Flames decided to overcome a 3-0 deficit and really take it to Dallas in the third period. But it didn't start in the third period. But let's go through the goals from top to bottom. So early into the game, I think 3 minutes into the game, we get a goal from Jason Spezza. He just gets an absolute great pass from Jordy Ben, which is now dubbed the new sauce boss with his high flip sauce passes that he's now done to
2 in a row.
Yeah, young Ben and now to Spezza. But Spezza catches Ramo cheating a lot. Ramo is not covering the short side high at all. He gave it to Spezza so much that it's one of those shots that you had to take because you knew he was not going to get it. The game started out just exactly how the Stars would want it. They had speed, they had shots, they were getting everything to the net. Ramo did not look great. He wasn't gathering his rebounds all that well. Let's go from a first. Go ahead.
It kind of seemed like maybe Ramo was anticipating that pass to Janmark just a little too much.
Yeah, he might have. It did definitely seem that he was cheating off the post an awful lot. So that could give a case of he might have expected something to go across, so he would have been in better position for it. But I just think he just played it wrong. I honestly think that he didn't realize he gave up that much. It just didn't seem that he played it all that great. I don't think he's played all that great for the season for Calgary all that well. So it might have just been a little rust. But, Jason Spezza makes him pay. But throughout the game, we really start seeing Ramo start playing a lot better in how he was gathering himself, because the Stars were getting a lot of shots on him.
Oh yeah, they were pummeling him there in the first period. What was it like, 20 to like 3 or something?
Well, that trails off into the second period, but it seemed like Dallas was starting to funnel just everything towards the net, exactly how it should be. But then you start to see a little crack in Dallas's defense. You see Yoki Paka just absolutely whiff on a pass that it was really up to Niemi to really keep Dallas into this game, because you saw the chances early off in the game that Calgary didn't look as weak as their record would state. I mean, I like Calgary more than I like Edmonton. And Edmonton's chocked full of number one picks, first round picks. I mean, Calgary has the same thing, but it seems like their youngsters are a lot more skilled than Edmonton's youngsters. Now, we'll see Edmonton early on in or later on in the week, as that'll be the fourth stop of the road trip that they're on right now. But Calgary is deceptively skilled. And it might not have showed in the first period. It looked like Dallas was just going to walk all over them. But they had little breaks here and there that showed that the Dallas Stars weren't just going to come in and just walk all over them. But granted, that's how Dallas has played against the basement dwellers, is that we have this perception that they're just going to lay down for us. And that has not been the case at all. I mean...
Yeah, I think a lot of Calgary's early turmoil definitely came from their goalie position. So, that, like they were saying, Ramo is really starting to come into his backup position again now instead of having a terrible start. So, things could turn around for Calgary a little bit.
It could. Like I said, they are a sleeping giant, I think. I think they have the potential to really turn some heads like they did last season. I think they have the skill that if they turn some heads, I won't be quite as surprised as I think a lot of other people will be surprised. But let's go into Cody Eakin's goal. Now, Cody Eakin's goal was a very weird goal because he gets pushed from behind by Dougie Hamilton and just completely takes out Ramo. But it also goes off of Hamilton. He pretty much kicks it in. Now, you would think that there might have been a coach's challenge on it, or the ref would have blown it dead, said goalie interference. But no, I mean, it was clear cut that Doug Hamilton, just just like plowed through Eakin into his goalie. So it's not like Eakin could really do anything about that, and it's not like Ramo could have done anything about that. I mean, that was solely on Hamilton. I mean, how did you see that goal playing out? Did you see it any other way?
I mean, I thought, because there was a ref standing like right behind the net, I felt, and I think he had the right call. Just let it fly.
Yeah, going into the second period, I think a player that was highlighted that is, getting better game by game is Nichushkin. Now,
oh yeah, he's definitely starting to turn heads now.
Yeah, he's
maybe not on the score sheet, but that workhorse mentality.
He was credited for an assist on Cody Eakin's goal along with Yoki Paka, but it just in this game it did seem in like the first 30 minutes of this game, it did seem like he was there to really take over. He was using his body. He was challenging defensemen. He was making heads-up plays. There wasn't that bonehead play that, he did a drop pass that he shouldn't have. He really looked like a complete player out there. He kind of started drifting going, into the later parts of the second period. But let's talk about the later parts of the second period. Now, we see Jason Demers take a hit from behind the net, and there's a penalty on the play, and Janmark takes the puck, makes a real heads-up play, takes the puck around the net, and does a sweet wraparound. Not a lot of people can really get that good wraparound. Granted, Smeed from the Calgary Flames kind of impairs his goalie to really sliding over to getting the puck. So, but what the biggest thing about that play is not the Janmark goal, even though that is great. You know, it's nice to see him get on the score sheet for a goal, something he hasn't done since the Winnipeg game. But it's losing Jason Demers again. He has an upper body injury this time. I mean, we saw the game that he was not in, the Ottawa game. And what happened in that game? The Stars got blown out. They never...
don't forget about the Florida game.
Was he not in that game either?
Yep, he wasn't in that game.
Oh. Okay, so...
That's the game Nemeth came in.
I didn't realize that, but I was more taken on the Ottawa game, and now it's established that there's a sequence here that if Demers isn't playing, you know, we're having to rely on too many other people because Jason Demers is a big part of this defense. Losing him in the middle of this road trip is not ideal for Dallas. He's too integral to how this defensive core works, and hopefully it's just a little nick. Maybe they just wanted to, you know, watch him. Maybe he's able to go in the...
not put him in for the rest of that game.
Exactly. I think, hopefully, I haven't seen any report on Jason Demers if it's super serious or if it's just a game management type thing. But hopefully he's able to go. You know, we've kind of had Vancouver's number, so maybe we're not too worried about that game. But, I mean, technically we should, since we've had to go to extra periods each and every time that we've played them. But losing him, I think, could be catastrophic. But we are seeing Kari Lehtinen getting activated off IR, which means that he could be good to go for Vancouver or Edmonton. Give Antti a little time off. You know, let's not overwork Antti. It'd be great to not do that. But going even later into the second period, 5 minutes left in the second period, Dallas is out shooting Calgary 20-8. It's, you know, that's whenever the Stars start getting back on their heels. Calgary wakes up and they start taking it all to the net. There's not a thing that is not going or not funneled to the net. And it shows because going into the third period, after they score their second goal, within 3 minutes of the third period, they are out shooting Dallas 23-22. That's a ridiculous number that the Stars were outshot that much in such a short span. Even with a period or an intermission between it, like the Stars could not regain any kind of momentum. Let's go into the first goal of the Calgary Flames. It's off of a face-off win from, what was it, Cody Eakin?
I think so.
It's one of those things that you needed to have a left-handed centerman win the face-off back towards the boards. Granted, as a centerman, you're taught to be able to win a puck both ways. So if you're right-handed, you should be able to win it back to the left side. But predominantly, because I played center for most of my hockey playing days, and I'm right-handed. Predominantly, you go with your backhand because that's where you're strongest. That's where you get a lot of your momentum bringing it back. So he wins it back towards the goalie. Nobody picks up the breaking winger, and he's able to slap at it 3 frickin' times. There's no defenseman is there to push him back. I think Goligoski was there lying on the ice. Yeah, I think he tried to block the pass or the face-off win. And then Nichushkin is there, but gets pushed to the outside because the guy shielded his body so well that he was able to get 3 whacks at the puck. That's something that should not happen in front of your net, especially off of a face-off win. It's unacceptable. And then a minute 30 later, you have Johnny Gaudreau as the trailer, and then you have Jamie Benn coming back, picking up the trailer, but doesn't stay with the trailer. He makes a beeline towards where the puck was instead of where the player was. It's one of those little mistakes that costs you. It's the centerman is supposed to pick up that trailer. He's the third defenseman. He's supposed to pick up that man, not go to where the puck was, but where the player is going to go. The player is more dangerous than where that puck was because the puck got shifted over to him. Boom. It's in the back of our net. And that's whenever the score and the shots start moving towards Calgary's side. From the second part of the second period to the third period, what were you seeing from the Stars? Like, what weren't you liking about what the Stars were giving out there?
It just seemed like they really didn't have any drive, like no intensity. They just kind of seemed like they were going through the motion, and thus just like Calgary came out, they got their 2 goals. They knew they had to get a third one, so they came out and they played like it was the last game they'd ever going to play.
Now,
which is what you should do no matter what the score is.
Now, do you think it was because they, held back, just like what Minnesota did, or do you think they just got flat out played?
I just think they got flat out played.
I also think that, because it's not that the Stars were holding back, it's that they were getting beat in all areas in the second part of the game. They just didn't have the drive to continue to finish this game. It's like the Minnesota game. They didn't play for 40 minutes, and they got rewarded with the last 25 minutes in that game. But here, they didn't want to play. What would you say? I think they played for 30 minutes in this game, and those later 30 minutes killed them. It absolutely killed them. They had nothing. They came out of the second intermission knowing that Calgary had this momentum building up towards them. They were getting all these shots on Dallas, and Niemi was keeping them in the game, and then they knew that, and they took that information into the intermission and didn't respond at all. It was pretty sad to see, actually, because, like you highlighted over the beginning of the video, the Stars don't play against these. I mean, they're not bad teams. They're all professional teams, but when you're looking at stats, this is a bad team, considering where they are in the standings. They don't play against bad teams. It's uncanny how the Stars team is going about its business. They're beating teams that, they could find excuses to lose to against like the top parts of the teams, like your Washingtons or your Vancouvers. I mean, these teams that they're losing to, they have no business losing to. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's quite frustrating whenever you think about it.
Yeah. Now, who do you think comes in now with Kari being activated and coming off IR? Does he get into the Vancouver game, or do you think he comes in
I
against?
would I would say yes,
Okay, and
solely on the way that Miami got worked in the last half. Now, granted, it's not all his fault, but I mean, when a goalie gets rocked 4 goals in a row or 3 goals in a row, then scored on 3 times in a shootout, then I think they should put Kari in.
now do you think
But I mean, I'm not management, so
yeah, do you think Kari is ready? Based on your gut opinion, do you think Kari is ready to come back in the net?
um, I mean that's tough to say. Like, once Dallas went up 3-0, I was like, all right, well, maybe I think we should just ride Niemi out, give him the next game, and then put Kari in on this back end of the doubleheader. And now seeing the way that Niemi played, I would kind of want to give Kari another day just to relax and settle in. But now I think it's probably the better decision to just throw him in there.
It's kind of like the devil's advocate right here. Is that I think Kari is. Going back to his last so-called head injury, he came back and didn't play all that great. He came back, he seemed like he was a step behind. And this goes into similar territories. He gets knocked in the head, knocked out of a couple of games. Does he lose that step? Is he going to, have his reflexes? Is he going to be ahead of the puck instead of behind the puck? I don't know. I think I like him better in the Edmonton game. I think it'd probably be smarter to have Niemi take this day rest of Wednesday and then put Niemi in against Vancouver and let Kari come in against Edmonton. No offense, Edmonton fans, if you're listening to this, you should be the weaker team. And let Kari come in that way. Let him get his legs under him. Going into with 2 minutes left in the third period, we see a just complete breakdown in all senses of Dallas's game. And you're seeing Ramo, he's stopping everything. He's controlling his rebounds. He's not under duress, at all. Except for a couple of times whenever on that shorthanded chance that Jamie Benn had. He had that, slight breakaway that he just couldn't get anything on it. Other than that, there's no real threats that I thought was going on in the third period. The Stars were just hanging on for just dear life. But as we see, they can't hold on. They have another positional breakdown where the strong side defenseman Brody, he sees Hamilton breaking, clear cut through the slot. He sees Hamilton coming in, gets him the puck, and then Hamilton just leans on his shot and just absolutely buries it past Niemi. Was Niemi screened on that shot? I couldn't tell from the replays.
Which shot? The Hamilton one?
Yeah.
I don't think he was fully screened, but Hamilton used the player that went down to the ice to his advantage. He really used that player as a screen whenever he shot. And thus, I don't even really think Niemi saw the puck get released. So that might have fouled him up a little.
Yeah, I could, because the way Niemi tried to play it with his glove up like that, it looked like he was expecting it to go higher or something like that. I'm not too sure how he played that puck the way he did. It was pretty weird. 2 minutes left in the game. Score is now 3-3. Comeback is now in full effect. It goes into extra periods, as we've seen in the past couple of weeks. That's how the Stars have been playing. But this one does not go the way the Stars want. Although the Stars did outshoot Calgary in the overtime period 4-0. That's with helps with the penalty on Hoodler, which was exceptionally quiet throughout the whole game. Like, I couldn't tell if he was playing in the game halfway through, and then you were like, oh no, he's there. But the Stars had their chance. Jamie Benn hits the post like Patrick Sharp did in Minnesota. But Jamie Benn hits post and gets his own rebound, too, off of that shot. And Kari Ramo makes a fantastic save, blocker save, that saves the game for the Calgary Flames. And then we go, and time runs out, and then we're seeing the shootout for the second time. Calgary scores on all of their shots. We're talking about, just straight up manipulation of the puck that the youngsters that Calgary has. That's in the shootout. I think these young teams like Calgary, like Edmonton, you don't want to go up against them in the shootout because these young kids are groomed for shootouts. It's all about the highlight deke move that these kids are really working on these days. Their hands are exceptional. And Tyler Seguin comes out on his first shot and gets all iron. All of it. Just full on iron. Doesn't get credit for anything on that. It's like, oh, good job. You tried. But Patrick Sharp, he comes out on his first attempt of the year and gets a goal by Kari Ramo. And then, who was it? Sean Monahan that finishes it off? He just flat out beats Niemi. Comeback completed. They rally. They give Dallas a taste of their own medicine. And this was a game that was hard to swallow because of how great the Stars played 30 minutes of the game. You're not supposed to lose those games. That's what everybody was saying to Minnesota. Minnesota fans were so upset. But what I did like is that if the Stars are going to lose, at least take it to overtime or the shootout. Get a point out of it. That's what the Stars didn't do a lot last season, was get points out of their losses. But, let's go into the ratings. What did you rate this game?
I'd probably rate this game a solid C.
A C? Interesting.
Yes.
Give me a reason why.
They were at an A+. They were in the first period. And then I'd say about halfway through the second period, they went down to about a B. And then that third period just C all the way.
Interesting.
Well, actually, I think the third period was an F, actually. But, they played a solid first half of the game. And then after that, just hot pile of garbage.
Yeah. For the way the game turned out, and if they had come away with a win, my rating would have been different, of course. I wrote down D+ because of how they got outworked. Look, the shot totals in the second and third period, 12-7, 16-4. That third period absolutely killed them and showed weaknesses in the Stars. And for them to lose a 3-goal lead, and this is the first time they've lost leading into the second period. They are now 10-0-1. And also, a little fact, Stars were the third to last team to lose in extra time. The only other teams that have not lost in extra time now is San Jose and the Columbus Blue Jackets. But the way the Dallas Stars went about their business, they had a whole intermission to regroup and didn't, and lost the game the way they did. It's a D+ effort. You get no brownie points there are no moral victories in professional sports. You're supposed to learn from this, but this is a dick kick just all up in it. The way they lost. The
That's
Stars.
a good way to put it.
Exactly. The Stars now play the Vancouver Canucks in Game 26. What are your predictions for that one?
Well, I'm going to learn from my previous mistakes and at least give a prediction for Vancouver this time. They've been playing Vancouver pretty close. And they both have like the same kind of work mentality, which is try to use speed and skill with the Sedin twins. And so I think it's going to be relatively close, or it's going to be a blowout. I feel if Dallas wins, it'll be, I'm going to say 3-1. And if Vancouver wins, I think it's going to be a blowout. And I'll say 3-0.
3-0. Interesting. I also think it'll be a close game, just like the past other two games. I don't think it goes to extra period. I think it gets settled in regulation. If Dallas wins, I'm going to say a score of 3-2. If Vancouver is to come on top, I like a score of 4-3. And there it is. That's the discussion. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share anywhere you'd like. Give some feedback. Tell us what you liked. Tell us what you didn't like. This is a video by fans for fans. So help us create this to where you would want to watch and keep coming back. Help us help you. And as always, tune in next time.